Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about OpenCode and, more importantly, how we can actually use it to build real applications. OpenCode is an open source AI coding assistant designed to work with developers, not replace them. It helps you write code, understand existing code, refactor logic, and generate things like tests and documentation, all while staying inside your development workflow. Unlike many closed AI tools, OpenCode can be run locally or connected to models you choose, which means your code and context stay under your control. All right, now let's actually install OpenCode on a Windows machine. I'll be using Windows command line, and I'll explain each step as we go, so you can follow along easily. First things first, OpenCode is a Node.js-based tool, so make sure you already have Node.js installed on your system. Now, to install OpenCode globally, I'll run npm command this installs OpenCode globally, which means we can run it from any folder on our system. Installing OpenCode alone isn't enough. It still needs to be connected to an AI model. For this demo, OpenCode is configured with the Ollama GLN 7 cloud model by connecting the Ollama provider and entering the API key. Once configured, OpenCode is ready to be used for all coding sessions. Now that OpenCode is installed and connected to a model, it's time to use it the way it would be used in a real project. This begins with an empty .NET project. No business logic, no features. Just the default structure. OpenCode is opened directly inside the project and allowed to understand what's already there. The first thing that happens is a project scan, allowing OpenCode to understand the codebase and its current state. This is exactly the kind of step that makes sense when opening a new codebase or joining a new team. It correctly identifies that this is a .NET project, recognizes the existing structure, and notices that there's no real functionality implemented yet. That context is important because now OpenCode understands what it's working with before any changes are made. Instead of jumping straight into writing code, the next focus is planning. The idea of the application is described, and OpenCode is used to break it down into features, APIs, services, and data models. What stands out here is that OpenCode isn't just generating code. It's helping reason about structure, responsibilities, and overall design. This creates a clear direction, very similar to what would normally happen during a technical planning or design discussion. Once the plan looks solid, feature implementation begins incrementally. Each feature remains focused, and OpenCode is used to generate the initial implementation based on the agreed plan. At every step, the generated code is reviewed carefully, checking naming, structure, and alignment with .NET best practices. In this workflow, OpenCode acts like a very fast pair programmer, speeding up development while still leaving full control in the hands of the developer. After implementing the core features, the project starts to take real shape. At that point, the focus naturally shifts toward testing. A separate test project is created, and OpenCode is then used to generate unit test cases for the implemented logic, covering the main execution paths, as well as important edge cases. This doesn't replace writing thoughtful, high-quality tests, but it provides a strong starting point and saves a significant amount of time. With the test project in place and the core scenarios covered, the application is now fully implemented and validated. This is the workflow that works best with OpenCode. It starts with an empty project, allows the tool to understand the context, plan the work, implement features incrementally, and finally validate everything with tests. There are no giant prompts and no shortcuts, just structured, developer-driven AI assistance. If this kind of real-world usage is helpful, feel free to let me know. In future videos, this can go deeper into specific features, advanced prompting techniques, and even enterprise-level workflows. Thanks for watching. Let's build.